From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the afternoon news for October 16th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. Microsoft is encouraging people to talk to their laptops as it rolls out new artificial intelligence updates to Windows 11 and pushes users to phase out its predecessor, Windows 10. Microsoft ended free security support for Windows 10 this week, though millions of people still use personal computers running the older operating system. To entice people to upgrade, the software giant on Thursday announced new Windows 11 features, most of them further integrating the company's AI chatbot, Copilot, into the experience of using a laptop. Among the features is a voice mode that enables users to dictate, "Hey Copilot," to start chatting with their computer instead of typing or clicking a touchpad. Microsoft first introduced Windows 10 a decade ago and launched its successor, Windows 11, in 2021. But many people around the world still are using Windows 10, particularly those with older computers that can't upgrade to Windows 11. Consumer advocates have spent months petitioning Microsoft to extend technical support for an estimated hundreds of millions of devices that will no longer get automatic security fixes. With the end of Windows 10, users face the choice between exposing themselves to cyber attacks or discarding their old computers and buying new ones, said Brenna Stevens of the Oregon State Public Interest Research Group, which advocated on behalf of local repair shops, students, and others. Senate Democrats are ready to reject the stopgap spending bill. Senate Democrats are poised for the 10th time Thursday to reject a stopgap spending bill that would reopen the government, insisting they won't back away from demands that Congress take up health care benefits. The repetition of votes on the funding bill has become a daily drumbeat in Congress, underscoring how intractable the situation has become, as it has been at times the only item on the agenda for the Senate floor. House Republicans have left Washington altogether, and the standoff has lasted over 2 weeks, leaving hundreds of thousands of federal workers furloughed, even more without a guaranteed payday, and Congress essentially paralyzed. Democrats say they won't budge until they get a guarantee on extending subsidies for health care plans offered under the Affordable Care Act marketplaces. They warned that millions of Americans who buy their own health insurance, such as small business owners, farmers, and contractors, will see large increases when premium prices go out in the coming weeks. Looking ahead to a November 1st deadline in most states, they think voters will demand that Republicans enter into serious negotiations. Turning to news from Alaska, one of the most significant airlifts in Alaska history was underway Wednesday to move hundreds of people from coastal villages ravaged by high surf and strong winds from the remnants of Typhoon Halong last weekend, officials said. The storm brought record water levels to 2 low-lying communities and washed away homes, some with people inside. At least 1 person was killed and 2 are missing. Makeshift shelters were quickly established and swelled to about 1,500 people, an extraordinary number in a sparsely populated region where communities are reachable by air or water. The remoteness and the scale of the destruction created challenges for getting resources in place. Damage assessments have been trickling in as responders have shifted from initial search and rescue operations to trying to stabilize or restore basic services. The communities of Kipnuk and Kipnuk near the Bering Sea saw water levels more than 6 feet above the highest normal tide line. Leaders asked the state to evacuate the more than 1,000 residents in those villages, said Jeremy Zydek, a spokesperson with the State Emergency Management Office. The crisis unfolding in southwest Alaska has drawn attention to Trump administration cuts to grants aimed at helping small, mostly indigenous villages prepare for storms or mitigate disaster risks. For example, a $20 million U.S. Environmental Protection Agency grant to Kipnuk, which was inundated by floodwaters, was terminated by the Trump administration, a move challenged by environmental groups. The grant was intended to protect the boardwalk residents used to get around the community, as well as 1,400 feet or 430 meters of river from erosion, according to a federal website that tracks government spending. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.